Hey everybody, welcome to the first edition of Your Resume Sucks. I'm Golie Green.
And I'm Andre Harden.
Listen, your resume sucks. Why do we call it that? We're not trying to be disrespectful to anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, we see resumes all the time that
Yeah.
probably aren't the best, but Andre and I have been in recruitment for over 15 years. So when we say your resume sucks, we're not just talking about the resumes we see. It's everybody else too. There's not a person on this planet who hasn't had a resume that sucked at some point in time. Even my resume has sucked sometimes. I'll go back and look at it and be like,
My resume sucks now.
I mean, it happens to all of us, right?
It does.
So the point is that after 15 years of working with people and working with clients, we really want to try to help you guys get to the next level. A lot of times we see clients hire people who really aren't the best candidate, and the best candidates sometimes don't even get into the interview because the way that they have their information displayed, the way that they carry themselves, maybe go through the initial interactions with the recruiter, just kind of sets them back a little bit. So what we're here to do is really give you some tips and techniques and the tools that you need to really propel your career forward.
Well, don't give them too much without letting them know who we are.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm Andre Harden, originally from Detroit, Michigan, graduate of Cass Tech. If you're really from Detroit, you know what that's about. Anywho, went to Texas Southern, the Texas Southern, on a golf scholarship, full ride. What's up, TSU alum? We love you.
This won't be the last time you hear about the golf scholarship, just so you guys know.
I'm dropping that every episode. But, when I was in school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. My uncle came up to me and was like, hey, you need to look in this recruitment thing. I was like, I didn't go to college to be a recruiter. But you know what? I took a look at it. I came in, before I graduated, worked there, contract, did accounting and finance, did a lot of other positions in recruitment, and I love it. I've seen it. I love helping people, love resumes. Very lucrative at times and very, very hurtful at times.
Yes.
Like this year. And that's another reason why we decided to help you guys, because who needs it more than now?
This is true. Same thing for me. I don't think anybody plans to get in recruitment. I actually went to school for marketing. Ended up coming out, found out that all the jobs I wanted in marketing required an MBA, and I was not interested in doing another 2 years in school. So, long story short, I ended up getting into recruitment and taking things from there, continued to build my career, and it's been a fruitful career, but you definitely have your ups and downs. I think, being a kid that grew up in Gary, Indiana, definitely taught me things that have benefited me in my life long term, so I can handle the downs as well as the ups without getting too high on myself or letting it get to my heart when you fail a little bit. But the benefit is that you get to help people and you get to make money helping people. So what we're really looking to do is to make sure that everybody is put in the right direction. And that's really the first step. What you have to make sure you want to do is have a clear outline of where you're going. Until you do that, the resume is going to be terrible. Because what's going to happen is, today I want to be, a recruiter. But hey, somebody offered me an extra $5,000 a year to be a warehouseman. So I'm going to go and take that job. But after 6 months of being a warehouseman, I just figured out that I can do this logistics job, and it's going to give me maybe a $5,000 or $10,000 pay bump. You get over there, you're not good at logistics, you get fired. Now you're trying to figure out how to get back in the job market. These are the things that happen to a lot of people. Whether you're a professional, you're blue collar, it doesn't matter. But we see it so often, and it never stops. It's not like this is something that just takes place with 20-year-olds.
Now, let me stop you there. When I want to make those job changes, do you think my resume that I have is going to be one size fits all for those different jobs you just named?
Absolutely not. That's probably the biggest mistake that people make. If you're going to take a resume and send the same resume to 50 different companies, or even 5, you're making a mistake, because there's no way you can hit on all the points that each separate company is looking for in a candidate, which is why a lot of people who are top performers never make it to a recruiter's desk.
Right.
If you're a top performer, let's just be honest, you probably work more than 8 hours a day. I would say the average person probably works more than 8 hours a day. You probably don't have time to sit up there and update your resume with every achievement, milestone, and accomplishment that you've had. And if you don't do that and your resume has nothing but responsibilities as opposed to accomplishments, then you already lost. Because the guy who had time to actually put all that content in, that's the one who's actually getting the interview. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's the person who's the best candidate for the role. So those are some of the small differences that, you have to take advantage of in order to really make sure that you're getting in front of the right people and for the right jobs.
And you got to put the right details on your resume, because I think we were having a discussion the other day, is that most of us, when we're going through resumes, you have our attention span like this. I think we came across a statistic that recruiters' attention span is probably about 7-8 seconds.
Well, it's the size of a gnat. I mean, if we're being honest,
right.
We're recruiters, so we come.
I know.
In all honesty, though, it's 7.4 seconds. So a study was done. I can't remember if it was Glassdoor or Monster that did it, but they did a study with recruiters, and the study showed that you have 7.4 seconds to catch a recruiter's attention. Now, I'm gonna be honest. This is a difficult thing because recruiters are just like anything else. You have good recruiters, you have bad recruiters, you have average recruiters. I mean, they can fall anywhere in that scale. But one thing that most recruiters are going to do, whether they're good or bad, is they're going to first look to see, is there something in this resume that hits on the key points or the keywords, as we'll say, the keywords that I'm looking for in a candidate. Keywords are important because that's how we actually mine for candidates or search for candidates. So a person like myself, I'm never going to wait for candidates to come to me. I might post a job and everything, but I'm going out to find a candidate. I'm going to hit LinkedIn. I'm going to hit a job board, Monster or whatever, and I'm going to actually do a search string. In that search string, I'm going to include keywords. If your resume doesn't pop up based on those keywords, I'm never going to see it. So 7.4 seconds is all you have, because if I do a search string and I get, let's say, 150 or 300 candidates that are in my search string, I'm not going to read for 5 minutes each one of those candidates. I'm going to look at the candidates and I'm going to pick out maybe the best 5 to 10 people, and then I'm going to reach out to those people to try to make, contact and see if I can get the right person for the job. So 7.4 seconds, that's what you're up against.
Well, I mean, and it's just so hard to really pick and choose what's so important on your resume. A lot of people don't really gear their resumes to the job that they're going for, and I hate it when people do that, especially if it's something that you really want. That's what bring up that point where if I'm going in for management and I need to be a warehouse, however we decide to tie in those talents together, gear your resume towards those positions. You can't be sending out blind copy resumes into some tracking system that's probably not going to get picked up anyway.
Well, we should probably tell them what a tracking system is. For
Don't
recruiters,
give them too much, Golie. This is just episode 1.
I mean, but for recruiters, that's an obvious thing. We all know. But for the average person who's applying to a job, an applicant tracking system is basically where the resumes go. You might have Brass Ring or Success Factors or a variety of different tools that people use. But nonetheless, your resume goes into an applicant tracking system. If a recruiter is waiting for resumes to come to them, then your resume has to beat the ATS. And so what the ATS is going to do is it's going to go over a couple different things. First thing is going to be, is this person qualified? So it's going to ask you something called knockout questions. Knockout questions are, if the position says that the role requires 8 years of experience within a specific area or a specific industry, then if you answer no to that question, you just dropped yourself in the fold. Yeah. Now, you can't lie, okay? Now, I mean, there's no point in saying you got 8 years of experience and then getting to a recruiter's desk and then being the guy that everybody's like, well, you got 2 years of experience. Why did you apply to this job? There's other ways you can go about trying to get a job like that if you don't meet those specific requirements. It's going to take a little bit more legwork, but there's things you can do that we'll get into in some of our future podcasts. But the thing is that you have to know that when you're applying to a job through an ATS, you have to know what the rules of the game are. And the rules of the game are making sure that you have the right keywords in your resume, and making sure that your resume speaks to that specific position. Mm-hmm. even if you don't use a resume writing service like us, which we provide through YRS Consulting, you need to make sure that you look at a job description and you know what specific keywords and what specific responsibilities you can speak to from an accomplishment standpoint to make yourself marketable for that position. That's how you kind of put yourself in a situation where you can at least get a look from a recruiter. Once that recruiter gets a look, depending on what their level of experience is, they're going to know if they've got the right candidate or not. But the main thing is as long as you get the keywords right, it's going to at least make it to a recruiter's desk in most cases.
In most cases. And that's, really what our job is. First off, the resume is going to get the door open for you. But the podcast doesn't stop there. We're going to be talking about interviewing, techniques, how to follow up with people, see if you have any referrals, networking. We even have events coming up ourselves with CVs and cigars to where we actually be out there meeting and networking as well. We also have theme days as well. Why don't you tell them about that, Golie?
Yeah, so we've got a whole host of theme days really targeted to keep you guys motivated through the week. So if you follow us on Instagram, what you'll notice is that on Mondays, we try to motivate you. Sometimes it's hard to get up on Monday when that alarm clock goes off. We're just trying to make sure you stay motivated and you're focused on baby steps. Just going in and giving 100%. So it's Motivation Mondays. Then we have Tuesdays, which is Tips and Techniques Tuesdays. That's going to make sure that you get the little, nuggets of information that'll help you in making sure that you remain marketable, that you're building your network and you're expanding yourself in your career. Wednesday is Wins Day. That's the day, it's in the middle of the week, and we like to look at that as, let me do a self-check to see what my wins are. One of the things that I think people across all industries do is they shortchange themselves a lot. And that's really big when it comes to career coaching. You have to make sure that you're helping people understand when they've gotten to a point of creating progress for themselves. So you got to go and do a self-inventory. What did I accomplish on Monday? What did I do on Tuesday? Did it get me closer to where I'm trying to go? If I did, that's a win. Let me make sure I track my wins on Wednesday. And so that's what we're looking to make sure that we keep you reminded of. Thursday is Q&A Thursday. We usually have questions that we'll answer on our own, but we'll open it up for you guys to ask us questions, and we'll give you answers to things that you want to know about, like, hey, I just got asked what I'm currently making, and I was interviewing for a job, and should I tell them? Which, by the way, let me just, spoiler alert, no. The only person you should tell what you're currently making is a third-party recruiter. And the only reason why I say that is because, and I know the corporate world is going to kill me for this.
Yeah, it probably will.
Because they're going to hate it.
Yeah,
but the truth of the matter is that your current salary has nothing to do with the job that they're hiring you for. There's a wage... I won't even get into that. Yeah, but we'll go on that later. So Q&A Thursday, you can ask us questions. We'll answer it. And then Friday is Casual Fridays. Those are probably going to be some of the funnest.
That's my founder's day.
Yeah, that's his day. Those will be the days when we kick back. We'll probably go to a happy hour, have a drink, and record from there and kind of give you guys, just a more loosened up, not buttoned up approach to the podcast to give you more information.
If you guys have any suggestions on where we should go for that podcast, put it in the chat.
Yeah, put it in the chat.
We
send us a comment, DM us. We're all for it. We're trying to, open this thing up. We want to make this thing, fun and entertaining. Nobody's going to pay attention to how I can build my career with a bunch of boring people on there. So, it is what it is. It's your resume sucks. Man.
Your resume sucks.
7.4 seconds. Is your resume good enough for 7.4 seconds?
Holla at us. Let us know.
Let us know, man.
Thanks for tuning in to Your Resume Sucks.
Please be sure to like, hate, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to go to our website at YRS Consulting, YRS Consulting, where you can book an appointment for a resume writing session, a coaching session, or to get that merch. Oh, yeah. And follow us on YouTube, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all the podcast platforms,
all the casts.
Instagram. We'll see you guys next time.
Armcast, baby.